We are back with the CUCV Classroom. I need to run around in this thing to work on it, so I need to get it inspected. So let me just show you some of the things that I've done since last we met. Ta-da! Okay, we have one new alternator. Alright, that's just eBay special. It's new. If you get one of these, I'll put the part number down in the description, but if you get one of these, it's going to come with a pulley that's too small. Alright, you're going to want to swap out your original pulley. You're going to want to swap this out, and there's a little bushing inside there. You're going to want to swap that out. Okay, and that fits right on there. You don't have to change belts or do anything weird. It's very easy to do. See over here in my pile of junk, that is the shiny little guy that came on that aftermarket eBay alternator generator. I just stuck it on the dead one in my pile of dead ones. Of course, to pass inspection, I did have to add a light for my license plate. So I got this one on Amazon. I'll put a part number in the description for you. Very bright. I'm surprised. It's got this cool, like, whitish blue color to it, but hey, street legal. Very simple 2-wire installation. One wire goes to your parking light positive, and the other one goes anywhere to ground, anywhere, or just wherever you can stick it. Alright, so real simple stuff. Alright, just comes on with the tail lights. This way, unlike my other truck, I can keep that pintle hook on there. I'm probably still going to attach an additional regular receiver down there, modern receiver, but I do want to keep the pintle hook. So there we go. We're gonna have some welding videos. Yes, the cabs on these, if you're gonna get them cheap anyway, are generally junk. As you can see from the interior, I did a little bit of finagling, all right, just so we can go ahead and get this inspected. All right, I know it looks beautiful, don't it? Look at that. It's like brand new, isn't it? It's not. I faked it out, you guys. Alright, I just threw some panels in there and did what I had to do. Patch everything up nice and legal-like. Hey, that works for me. Here it is, getting inspected. Will it pass? Did it pass inspection? Of course it did. This truck is registered, insured, inspected, on the road, good to go. Alright, we're going to throw a quick alignment on this thing. We say quick. We'll see. The locked rear axles there. Old school. See if that brand new Hunter unit there can do anything with this. You see I have everything buttoned together. Built myself a little center console. It's kind of neat. Alright, look at that. Open it up and it turns into like a little clipboard thing and plenty of storage and whatnot. Let me reach in there while we're in here and get this out. Alright, but what I want to talk about right now is the voltmeter. Okay, you guys saw I had a bum voltmeter. Alright, so rather than get a stock one, I have some, but you know, they're kind of troublesome. A lot of guys are just going with these. Alright, this is an Autometer product. This is their 36 volt voltmeter. Make sure you get that 36 volt one. There is your part number, 2651. Alright, this thing cost me, I don't know, I think when all was said and done to get it to my house with shipping and everything, 72 bucks or something, straight from Autometer. Taking the old one out is very simple. You can see there's a bulb that plugs into the old one there. Alright, so there's your bulb, and of course you have this little clip that went to your original voltmeter. On the other side of that clip is this little guy. So it's really a simple setup. Alright, so we're just going to hook this little guy onto our new voltmeter properly. And we're going to go ahead and plug that in. Alright, see if everything works out. Alright, here is what is inside the package. You have, of course, your voltmeter. Then you got these two little nuts that you can use to basically hold it on. Okay, that'll go on here with those. And then you got this little bag here, and that has the light bulb in it. Okay, and then a couple covers. So you want to change the color of the light. you go ahead. You can go full bright, or you could have a green, or you could have a red colored light shining through your voltmeter. Just so you know, the bulb, the original bulb, does not fit inside the housing. So you're going to have to use the one they sent with it, which is no big deal. Right, normally I can't stand cutting wires and changing things out. I do it when I got to, but in this case somebody had already obviously replaced this. So I'm going to go ahead and just snip that out. Very simple 2-wire setup. I'm going to hook that up, okay? We'll do that first. Alright, that was easy enough. Simple. And of course, as always, save the little stuff. Save these little things. You never know when you're going to need something like this, maybe for another truck. You never know. Always save this stuff. Alright, so you're going to want to connect your wires like so, with your ground wire right there in the middle, okay, and your hot, your 24 volts over here. And you can tell which ones you want to use because they have the spades on them. Alright, the other one doesn't. So that's going to be your hot right there. That's going to be your ground. Now you can either cut these spades off, or if you have a different connector, use those spades. But either which way, that's a lot of metal exposed there. That is 24 volts, so you're going to want to do something, tape them off, or what I like to do is go ahead and use the liquid tape, liquid electrical tape. Okay, just brush that on, covers it up nice. Alright, because I do have, right now it's all open, I don't have my dash pad on. Plus, any which way, you reach up behind there sometimes, getting bulbs and stuff. Yeah, you just don't want to zap yourself or short anything out, so, you know. So go ahead and protect those up with your tape of some sort. Alright, so the way to mount this is going to work like this. We're just going to run that wire in there. Alright, it's going to fit right in. Nice and pretty. It looks really nice. And what's going to happen, and I'll take it out to show you. Come on, let go. Is you're going to take this little piece that came with it. Okay, go ahead and run that onto there. This is before you try to do the bulb or any of that. I'm going to just line that right onto there like so. Alright, but you're going to do this once it's installed. I'm just showing you outside of that hole. So what's happening is, you see these little lips sticking out? Those are going to basically grab the back side of that hole, okay, and pinch that right in there when you screw it down. And you're going to screw it down with these. There we go. And I just threw it in there to show you how it goes, but see, just little finger screws. Alright, now we're just going to put our bulb in and then hook our little connector up for the voltmeter and see if it works. Alright, bulb in, everything's connected. Let us go ahead and see if we have any kind of life. Key on. Oh, 24 volts showing there, baby. So that's good. We are good. Now, I'm going to crank this thing up. Oh, actually, I'm going to hit the glow plugs. Give them 10 seconds. Good. And that's what we want to see. Perfect. So that is easy as can be, you guys. Quick swap-a-rooney. And I think you're going to be much happier with this one. It's going to show you exactly what's going on. That's nice to see. It's in the green, but this shows you exactly what's up. Alright, let me go ahead and flick my lights on and see. Boink. There we go. Lights up. On. Off. On. It's daylight, obviously. You're not going to see it super bright, but you can see that it works. Alright. Now the other thing I did is I had a bad courtesy light under here, so that has also been replaced. I don't know if you can see that coming on and off. It's because it's daylight, but let's see. On, off, on, off. They're not very bright. On, off. See that? At night you'd see that. It's a good little map light for your passenger. So here is the housing of the original one. I just cut it out, and there was, of course, the positive end was in there, and that was all busted apart and wasn't making contact, so that was junky. So it's very simple, one screw. If you look, there it is. I got my levy out so you can see, and then on the inside there is the replacement unit. This, I just want you to know, actually comes 2 of those. So if you want, you could tap off and run one over there to your driver's side. I am not going to do so. Didn't come that way. I'm not going to make it that way. And with that, my instrument panel is completely back together and working perfectly fine. Let me rephrase myself. Not perfectly fine. I have an issue here with my heater unit. It only goes this far. And when I look underneath there, I can see that I have a problem with the cable. It stops right there. So something's jammed. I want to get in here and figure out why this does not work. I cannot go between hot and cold. I'm stuck on hot. That is jammed. You try to work it and you can see what's happened to the cable there. So I'm going to take this apart. Also, the fan does not come on when I give it juice. So I know there is juice going to that switch. We'll take it from there. Okay, inside you can see we have one little bolt right there. And then you're going to want to pop this little retainer off. Just get some pliers or something. It's just one of those little metal pop-on things. All right, you're going to want to work that thing off of there and disconnect your linkage. There you go, just a little retainer. Pop that guy right off of there. That's all undone. Alright. Hey. That actually works. So it's the cable that's not working. Somehow. Let's take a look at that. You can see it only goes that far. Nothing happens. I know it's bent and everything, but yeah, that does not move at all. Let's see if we get any action out of it. We got nothing. No action. So that's just a cable issue of some sort. And yeah, that should have some movement to it. It doesn't. All right, so we're gonna open that up on the other end and take a look at that. All right, pop your bezel off. And yeah, you guys can see why I don't permanently bolt everything down, right? I just pin it down because I know I'm going to tear it up. Same reason I don't clean anything up yet. Make sure everything's good to go. But here we are. And then you can see the unit. You can kind of see here. Let me move this thing around. See some of the movement of that one. Kind of neat, but this one here, you can't really see it. So we're going to go ahead and pop out these bolts and take a look at that little system there. Okay, look down in here. And look right here. Right there. You see that? Let me see. Oh, right there. Again, it's the same as the other one. Just holds that cable in place. Then you come over there and work the little retainer off. And we're going to pop that little cable off there. Once you get that cable off, you got a bulb here. And you got a little plug here. Go ahead and remove those. Glad I checked mine because mine's blown out. See, the little things. All right, we got that ugly puppy out of there, and we can see that this little situation here, that works fine, and that's all good. Then we come down here and it doesn't move at all in this direction. It only goes here. So let's take a look. And we flip it over and look. Okay, so we have some action here. You can see that this has popped off of its little nugget. Somebody obviously forced that. So this is supposed to move, which would put this cable in and out, and it doesn't. And I'm sure it's not the plastic that's jammed, so that would leave us with ye old cable. So it looks like we need ye old cable. All right, do I have one of those? I don't know. I have to go check my stuff. Even though I put this together just to show you guys how one of these goes, I am not going to use this unit. I'm going to chuck it. And the reason is because, remember I told you my fan doesn't work? We'll take a look there. That would explain it. All right, we obviously had some sort of a short there. Looks like it actually melted the little plastic insulation between those contacts. Obviously we had an issue. Alright, so I'm not going to reuse this. I mean, I could just find that switch, but you know, look at the face of this thing. Thanks, buddy. You know, that's kind of ugly. So I'm going to get a nicer one. Alright, that's just ugly, and you know, I'm going to have to get this anyway. So why bother? This rusty thing. Alright, so for now, we're going to put this on the back burner. Alright, we don't need that right now. We'll move on to the next thing. Well, since I can't use that climate control unit right now, I just buttoned it up. And you know what? I want to do the exhaust now, because this is ridiculous. You know, that truck right there sounds so good with that 2-in-1 custom exhaust, and that's only 2 1/4 inch. So I'm thinking, let's go get some 3-inch straight through. But first, listen to this. Thing cranks right up. And let's listen to this mess. Oh, that sounds terrible. We got holes blown. We got loose brackets. Listen to that. That sounds terrible. And it looks terrible. Terrible. I don't like it. I can't take it anymore. So we're up here in Plastow, New Hampshire now. Lose custom exhaust. There it is, lose. While I was driving, I noticed something new. I'm starting to get a little flicker out of my Gen 2 light that I'm not digging. It goes away if I give it gas, but it's not a belt. See that? So something to look at after I do this exhaust. Alright, let's go see Doug. Alright, there it is, all done. Now look at that. You don't even see. Remember the exhaust hanging down? That ugly old exhaust hanging down? Gone. You can't get that up any tighter than they got it. I said put that up as tight as you can. You cannot get much tighter. So now I gotta figure out how my Greta stick is gonna go on this one, huh? Look at that, you guys. Oh yeah. It's beautiful. Custom 2-in-1, baby. 3-inch pipe. We ain't messing around. Holy mackerel, you guys. Listen to this thing. Ready? Whoa. Listen. So bassy. Again, that's Lou's custom exhaust. Oh, spinning them. Jesus, chirping them all the way out of here. Oh, that sounds so good. I got a little relationship with them. best decision at all. Runs good, sounds good. You really can just tell how fresh and young this motor really is, mileage-wise, now that it's not all rattly. Sounds good. Whoa. Listen. So bassy. I have removed generator 2. So there we go. There's the new one. There's the old one. All weathered. Listen. I mean, yeah, it spins freely, but I can hear that it's a little bit of grindy, and I'm sure that thing was ready to go. But over here, now, we got the new guy. Spins freely, spins quietly. You can feel it's got a little bit of something to it. It's not just, you know, sloppy loose like this. It's got a little something like it should. All right, but you're gonna notice that this little pulley is smaller. Okay, I don't know, can you notice? But it is, trust me on that. You can use this if you want. I'm not gonna, it just feels thinner, and this just feels better to me. So probably just like the other one, I'm just gonna reuse all of this. All right, but then there's a bushing in there that I wanna show you. You gotta use that too. All right, taking these apart's pretty easy. That's a 24 millimeter. You're gonna wanna use an impact gun. All right, if you try to use just a drill or something, or if you try to use a ratchet, it's just not happening. You'll wreck something. If you try to use a drill, you'll probably spin this in your hand and hurt yourself. Very simply. And then you get that washer right there, and you get the actual pulley, and you get that little fan blade. Okay, but down in here, it's like a little bearing. You're going to want to just grab that up out of there. Alright, came right off. Bada boom, bada bing. There's my washer. Put this down, don't need that. The old fan. Alright, now look. See how much bigger that is? Okay, so if you just tried to put this on without that, what's going to happen is that's just going to go all the way down and sit right on your housing. Alright, so that's not going to work. Alright, now if you put in just this one by itself, like go, you're going to see that you're good to go. Throw your old pulley on, not your new one. Okay, you can use your new washer and your new nut. Okay, and give it a little something. That should do it. And then I like to just save all these pieces and put them on this. Now, you guys saw my big old pile of junk alternators, generators. Save those, you guys, because you can rebuild them for cheap. 20, 30 bucks. All right, so we're gonna save these, and in another video I will show you how to rebuild these for cheap. All right, this that I did here, actually this is just probably temporary, but this will become my spare. I'll rebuild these and just keep this eBay model here for a spare. All right, so this can go in the junk bin. This is gonna go into the truck. That's good to go. Let's go hook it up. All right, so it's tough to show you where all these wires are gonna go on the back. I'm sure you paid attention when you took your own apart, but maybe you didn't even have one. You're putting one in fresh. So I'm gonna show you on this one. All right, I got it stood up the same way. Okay, so it's pretty obvious some of the stuff, like right here on top. That's gonna be a clip. Okay, then you're gonna have this top probe right here. Again, see, it's tough to see, but that's right there. What's going to go there is the thick red wire that has the little orange wire attached to it. And the other end of this is up here inside my little 24 volt block. All right, so that's going to go on that top lug. All right, so the lower one here is going to get this other cable. And this cable here essentially runs around and it goes through here, and it's basically coming from your 12 volt junction box over here. Okay, you connect the block. All right, so this alternator system is actually really pretty simple too. Okay, so you know you got the two of them, generators actually. So I want you to think about these kind of like the way the batteries are. Okay, they're in series. All right, so I want you to think about this. Okay, you got a negative cable that's grounded, right? It goes through here. We have a positive cable on the plus side that then connects over to the negative side of the next battery, and then we go out the plus side again into our positive junction block over here. From there, things will grab a full 24 volts off of the two batteries, which are in series. So I want you to think about these generators the same exact way. Okay, let me show you the ground on generator number 1. I have one right here. You'll notice this lower lug is grounded. There it is, black ground. You can see it goes right back there, and it's an engine ground. All right, so we have it grounded. And then what I want you to notice is that from our 12 volt junction block, we have a red wire that's going to come down, and of course it has a little blue fusible link. It's going to come down, it's going to come through our wiring harness, and here it is up on the upper lug. All right, that's 12 volts. Now I'm not going to worry about this little clip right now, all right, little energizer and stuff like that. I just want to show you the main system here. Okay, so here's 12 volts. Let's go back up to our junction block from the red wire. We're going to go back up to our junction block. Okay, now what we have also in this junction block is that other little blue fusible link, which goes to another red wire, just like the one we just looked at, and it comes over here and it comes up to generator number 2, and it hooks on the negative pin, the negative lug down there. Okay, so there's not a ground on this one attached anywhere. Okay, you're going to have that positive from the 12 volts coming over here. Now what's happening? That's a 12 volt going into this unit, and it's producing 12 volts. So guess what's coming out of this positive? Well, this positive goes, and you can see this one because I have it out of the harness, right up to my 24 volt. So you can see between the two generators how we get 24 volts. Okay, I got 12 coming in from Gen 1. I got 12 being produced. Actually, the charging system, you're going to get closer to 29. You get like 14, 0.4 out of these. Yeah, so you're technically getting 14.4 charging out of this. So you're going to get like 29 volts if you were to read it on a voltmeter up here, charging wise. How is battery number 1 catching a charge? Well, think about it. Generator 1 is charging up to my 12 volt block, right? And off my 12 volt block, coming back to the midpoint, is a nice little cable that's charging this first battery with the first. All right, so what you're seeing is generator 1 is essentially charging battery 1. Generator 2 is charging, well, both batteries, but hitting battery 2. All right, that makes sense to you? And there you go. So these are all good to go. Everything's charging beautifully. Belts on, everything's good. Make sure that these things are like guitar string tight. All right, guitar string tight. Really, belts on these need to really be tight. All right, so that is all hooked up. Batteries are hooked up. I didn't hear anything cook or pop or snap or crackle, which is good. So let's find out what we got. 2 gen lights, that's good. Hit the old glow plug. I got 24 volts up here, that's good. I no longer have the flashing Gen 2 light. It's steady. Alright, hitting the gas does not move that needle, which is good. I don't have any sort of any pulse or anything. They're quieter. Hey, here's something else I want to show you guys, if you can even hear me. Do this. Alright, nice clear tube. And you can see if you're getting any air in your lines. Alright, a lot of guys will be like, no, that'll never hold up to the diesel. Really, tell the tube. This is my blow-by. None. Non-existent. Zero blow-by. Looking good. Alright, so that's everything now except that stupid heater. Just gotta get that temperature control going. But yeah, we still don't have any flashing over here. We're golden. I like it. Beautiful. Alright, so here is the unit I need. This one looks nice. It looks much better than that nasty one I have. Right? Beautiful. Okay, so this is what I order. And this is what shows up. And this is why I can't stand people. Alright, not only is it completely wrong, but look at the shape it's in. Alright, look at this. Look at this. Alright, so now I gotta give this guy a whipping and get that fixed up. Give this guy a little what for. That ought to do it. There we go. Much better. Alright, so we can move on with that. Alright, so I popped my glow plug controller card out, and here it is. Alright, so obviously even when I first was putting this together, you'll see in the other video I had a wicked chatter when my glow plug relay tried to shut off, and that I told you was a sign that this is probably going bad. And if you turn this over, you will see we do indeed have some sign of, well, if nothing else, extra heat. So this is where you typically see these things burn out first. And that is your little huckleberry right there on the other side of the burn. See that? Alright, so these are fixable. Alright, go through and do some tests on them. I am not going to do that right now. Here's what I'm going to do. I got myself one of these upgraded cards. Okay, and I got that from Billy Wizard. And there's all your info right there. Alright, so what do I mean by upgraded? Well, here's some cool things about this card. First of all, notice the LEDs. So you have your green LED, and that should come on with the key. And if that does not come on with the key, then you can pretty much determine that you're not getting any juice when you turn the key on. Alright, so that's nice to diagnose that you're just not getting juice. Alright, and you come over here and you have an amber one. Alright, that should come on when your wait light comes on. Okay, and what's cool about that is if you look down here, there's a little jumper here, and you can see it's set on the left side, F for flash, or you can move it over here to steady. So when your wait light comes on, it's either going to be flashing until it's done or steady till it's done. I like steady. I'm going to move that over. All right, but that's kind of cool. That goes with that little wait light, and so that should come on. You can see that. And then you have, of course, the red light, and the red light is on when the actual ground is being made. So if that red light's on, that relay is sending juice to your glow plugs. All right, and you should be able to see when that's on, and you should be able to see when that relay has kicked off. So that's very nice to have. Now, of course, this card is going to be tucked up in here, and you're really not going to see that. So this is only something that, you're going to have to look through your little slot there and try to see what you can see if you want to figure this out. Some guys will even cut out a slot for this so they can see. But obviously, in any vehicle that has blackout lights and service lights that you can shut off, you're not going to want things glowing. So don't just cut that wide open and have this glowing all over the place, because it's not going to shut off with your service lights, all right? So, you know, if you want to go true blackout, you're going to want to keep that covered up. So up in there it's going to go. All right, so I'm going to do that, and hopefully that will solve my issue of the relay clicking. All right, that's simple enough. Pop it right in there. Now, the only issue I got is I want to show you guys everything lighting up, but my truck is a little bit warm because I did just drive it here. But watch this, all right? I'm going to go ahead and turn the key on. Here goes the ignition. Now watch, you might see glow plugs for a second. All right, wait light for a second, but probably not. Here goes the key though. Oh, there is glow plugs, all right. Oh, there it goes, they're already done. And then I got a glow plug again for a second, and now it's out. Everything is happy. And now watch, I can manually hit my glow plugs. Alright, I got the manual button here. Look up in there, ready? Oh yeah, it knows. Right? So that is kind of neat. And that is also complete. Cool. Good to go. So, I'm going to button that back up, and then we're going to do this climate control situation, which, you know what, you don't really need to see that. You just reverse what we did, all right? Put it back in, put the cables on, easy as can be. Now I have the temperature control unit installed, and all my little levers work all the way from one side to the other. Okay. Nice. My door flaps are all opening, everything's good, okay, easy enough. But I still have no fan motor. Now we got to troubleshoot that. You know what, today's cold, it's gonna get colder, so I got to get that squared away. This is, again, not a complicated system, this blower motor system, so let me show you how this thing runs. Step one, we just pulled the plug off the back. Okay, so after jostling around with the wires here, I discovered something. All right, listen, you hear that? I have high now, so that's the direct connect from 12 volt power on top on the brown one, okay, down to the orange one. That is not working. Look what I found though, a simple touch right here. That's my problem, it's a bad connection to the 12 volt. All right, and I'm going to assume it's the connection here and here. It's probably not this, but I'm just going to clean that up a little. So, starting at the top, on the brown one, with the key off, we should have 0 volts. That's what we have, 0. Flip the key on. All right, key on. All right, should be getting 12 volts. I am getting 11.8, 11.9. Let's call it 12 for now. All right. Again, I'm just sitting here with the key on, not running, and I've been messing around. So we got juice there, all right? All right, that's your orange wire. That one is tied straight into the motor direct. That's the high setting right there. So if this is truly connected to the motor, I can test with this awesome power probe. I can send 12 volts to that. Then it's gonna kick on. So let's find out. 12 volts, here we go. Ready? Listen to that, guys. That is my motor. Oh, and look what, some stuff blew out of there, guys. I think I probably have a mouse nest. All right, so what does this tell me? Mouse nest aside, my blower motor's good. I'm not going to attempt to send any juice through the second or the last pin, all right, down through those wires. Those are the settings. And the reason is because I have it disconnected under the hood, and I want to show you guys something. Behind your battery, your number 2 battery, you can see I got a hole there where I pulled something out. What I pulled out is this resistor right here, and this plug that's on it is those colored wires that we were just messing with. All right, look, there's your orange and your blue, and there's your yellow. And as I said, there is a direct connect straight to the motor on that orange wire. That's why we could send juice down it and kick that motor in. Now you can see I've already pulled this apart. I'll tell you right now, if you're going to take this apart to check it, because this is another fail point in this system, all right, this is your little resistor setup here, go ahead and pull this plug off first. This is usually really tough. It's rusted on there, and I'm gonna probably guess, just looking at this as I pulled it apart, that rusty contacts is probably all that's wrong with this, but we're gonna dig a little deeper. All right, here is that little resistor, and actually, except for the rust, it's not broken. So I don't think this was the problem as far as these springs and coils here. All right, the little resistance, what these do, they're like little heaters. All right, they'll heat up like a little you've seen them, those little electronic cigarette lighters or whatever. They'll heat up, they basically burn off some juice on its way over to the fan. All right, depending on how much juice these coils take, see it's different sizes, you're gonna get a different fan speed. All right, very simple. And there's a seal on these, so if you take it apart, you're gonna want to at least silicone that up. That's probably all I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna go look for this seal. All right, so this looks okay, but this side was horribly stuck on, very rusty. I'm gonna assume I have a connection issue there. No matter what, that's got to get cleaned up. And I can see I have definitely had some little critter buddies living in this truck at some point, possibly still living in it now, who knows. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick a vacuum cleaner and a little bit of air in there and clean that out whilst I'm here. I'm glad I checked that. This whole thing looks kind of chunky. So we already know we can send juice all the way through this thing, from the plug inside the cab all the way through to the motor. Now we can put the plug back on inside the cab, all right, and we can go through the switch settings and find out if we're getting any voltage on this end on the other settings, like the medium and the low. Listen, you hear that? I have high now. Now remember, my resistor is taken out, so that's the direct connect from 12 volt power on top on the brown one, okay, down to the orange one. That is not working. Let's put it here. Notice there's no fan. But let's go see if we get juice out front. For the medium setting, we're going to check that orange and blue connection. I'll plug it right in here. We're getting our 12. All right, so that's great. Let's go switch it down to low. The low is going to be that yellow wire. Oh, get in there, you. And we have 12. All right, so our switch is good. We're getting juice down here as we should. I still don't think I love this connection. I went ahead and cleaned this up, all them rusty contacts, because I'm sure that was also part of the problem. I'm gonna go ahead and just hook this up. All right, we're gonna hook it up to its little plug, and I'm not gonna put it back in the hole yet. I'm gonna leave it out safely where I can, you know, see it. And I'm gonna go ahead and just run through these fan settings and see what we get. Key on. Low. I hear nothing. Medium, nothing. We have high. We have nothing on medium. Now we know we get juice all the way back there. Replacing it with another one from a different truck did not help. So I don't think that there's two perfectly good, fine looking resistor banks here that are bad. So if we know the motor works and we know we can send juice all the way down and get it right at the back side of that plug, I'm gonna go ahead and say that the plug itself is the problem. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and cut those wires and just put some different tips on, see if that's the issue. Boom, like that. I'm just gonna leave that here, make sure those little coils aren't touching anything, because they get hot if they work, and let's go see if that works. And let's see, off. Oh, low is working. You probably can't hear it, but it's working. Let's go medium. You hear that? Medium is working. And let's go to high. High, medium, and low. And off. And with that, we've solved the problem. Now all I have to do is clean the mouse nest out of there and button that little resistor back up. A little bit of silicone, button it back up. Problem solved. Let's put this back together. Delicious. Oh man, it was packed in there too. Tons of it. All right, so I got my resistor back in there, siliconed in so we don't have any water leaking in there, rusting things out. And now I'm gonna hook it up. There we go. Note the way I have it hooked up. Okay, you got your two wires, the one that goes straight over to the motor, attached to the high-speed orange line. And then on top we get the yellow, and on the bottom we have the blue and orange. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and liquid tape those, because look at all that exposed stuff that I have now that there's no clip. You know, there's no plug on the end. So let's do that. Beautiful. All right. And that is done. I can button up my dash now. Holy mackerel, look at this stuff blowing out of here. Oh, this is wonderful. I have heat and it's blowing hard. Oh, this is great. Look at this. We have a completed dash. Everything in this truck is working. Everything is working. There is nothing left electrically. There's nothing fuel-wise. There's nothing cable-wise to keep this truck from working. Everything works. I mean, even the emergency brake works. The thing works great. I mean, it actually holds the truck. So, it's great. Holy mackerel, you guys. Listen to this thing. Ready? Whoa. 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 Whoa.